Let's see if I can get my numbers right today. Round 1 is gone and round 2 set to ready to begin. Retribution versus Cyclone. My name is Tiger and that's Aggro, and together we are the Tagro casting duo.
Bam.
Doop. All right.
We're still working on the noises.
It's okay.
We'll get there.
But Retribution, a little bit of a rocky start, especially going up against Cyclone. In week 3, we saw them get 2-0'd by Cyclone, but last week we saw them come out very strong with new players, CobbY and Welshbeastq, able to go ahead, help their team get the 2-0 onto Cyclone.
And moving Jeron from the hunter position into the jungle definitely seems to have sparked this revitalization for Retribution. So we'll see if they can continue it here against Cyclone. Like you mentioned, they played the past 2 weeks up against each other. 2 weeks ago, they got 2-0'd by Cyclone. Last week, they 2-0'd Cyclone themselves. So now it's kind of the rubber match. Let's see who can win the best of 3 series, if you will.
Third time is the charm. Up next, picks and bans ready for Retribution and Cyclone. This is going to be the first game. You haven't missed anything quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right on in. The only thing that I want to mention, Cyclone's Freya.
Cyclone's Freya, definitely something that they like to pick a whole lot, but we are seeing them transition from a different jungler into a new one here. So we had Osric there in the jungle, so we'll have to see who they've selected to kind of fill those shoes. Osric was a big Ratatosker player, so we'll see maybe if they want to go to a different style of jungler or if they want to keep that with their new member of the roster. And I believe it's Ezzuna moving from the solo lane into jungle. At least that's what we have heard.
That's what I've heard.
Retribution may not have heard because they are still first banning Sobek away from Ezzuna. This is the god that Ezzuna basically just wins games for Cyclone with in the solo lane.
No, man, jungle Sobek. Jungle Sobek.
If there was someone who was going to do it, it would probably be Ezzuna.
But Retribution doing their homework, or at least listening to me, banning out the Freya. No Cyclone Freya. Styley cannot be allowed to go ham.
So this leaves open a lot of options for Retribution, and this is I'm expecting them to pick Nemesis here. We've seen Jeron play it again and again, and to pretty good success as well. Let's see if they do want to first pick it, and there it is.
I think Retribution are really the only team that like to try and take that for themselves that we've seen. We talked about Nemesis being banned out all day yesterday for NA. We saw it banned out earlier in the previous games. It's the first time we've seen her in a while.
And it's always Retribution that seems to do pretty well with it. I mean, they've won, it's been picked 7 times, and they've won with it 4, so looking pretty good on that Nemesis overall. Banning that Zeus away from Elexum, though, definitely a god that Elexum does feel comfortable on, but I'm kind of surprised. I mean, yes, he does feel comfortable on it, but I feel like the Nemesis probably would have been the stronger ban there. Elexum does have other gods in that god pool. We'll see what he wants to go to pair up with that later game Nemesis coming out from Jeron, and the Fafnir going to be selected for Cyclone. So apparently it isn't just Rival who like Fafnir these days. Cyclone also like it as well.
Susano going to get picked up as well for CycloneGG. I'm kind of surprised it didn't put any kind of pick priority on that Neith and Raijin that they like to run in the mid so much.
Neith and Raijin, either one would have been pretty good here. We've seen Elexum run a bunch of Neith as well, so you could have taken it away from him. Maybe they'll go for the Raijin here, which is exactly what they will. This is a big 3v3 burst damage core that Retribution have drafted thus far. Athena taunt into Nemesis ult into Raijin 2-3 combo is a kill on anyone that gets taunted, basically, outside of probably the support for Cyclone in the early to mid game. But once Raijin gets that damage online, it doesn't matter how tanky you are with that Nemesis ult, shredding away those 50% of your protections. It's going to be devastating on the side of Retribution.
Last pick coming up from Cyclone, going to be the Soul. Now we're going to the ban phase. CycloneGG taking out Xbalanque. We saw Welshbeastq take this 2 times last week. Absolutely fantastic Xbalanque plays.
And that's what you got to do. You just got to recognize what character, these are new players into the SCL. You've seen them play a couple of gods. Let's make you play some different ones. And a lot of target bans from Retribution and Cyclone so far this game. And that's what happens whenever you play each other 3 times in 3 weeks.
Retribution banning out the Neith. They took the Raijin, they ban out the Neith. Guan Yu also not going to be making an appearance, so not going to have the same kind of sustained game that we have been seeing previously. Arlang Shin out as well, which means that's a Medusa.
That's a Medusa, and I believe it is Cyclone that we saw run this Medusa middle, correct? They ran a lot of Medusa middle recently enough. Yes, it's Bloakley in the mid lane for Cyclone, who really likes to run this Medusa in the mid lane. And so no surprise there, I suppose. But every time you see it, you're still a little bit...
You're still like, whoa.
Right, yeah.
That's a Medusa.
And you can see there, picked it 3 times already, and they've won with it twice. And Bloakley's been on point with the Petrifies every single time they've played. So if it's a god he's comfortable on, you know, may as well let him have it.
Amaterasu and Chronos picked up for Retribution. Going to be able to shred when Chronos hits that couple of item level. You're going to be able to talk about that later on. Medusa going up against, so Medusa mid more than likely for Bloakley. Going up against that Raijin.
It's your typical, you know, mage up against ADC in the mid lane sort of setup. You're going to be out pushed early as the ADC. You're not going to be able to full clear the wave quite yet. You're going to be rushing Transcendence, so you do have a decent amount of sustain in lane because you do have 3 health and mana potions available to you. But overall, you're going to be sitting under tower a decent amount. Susano is going to be there, and his wave clear is excellent, so you won't have to worry too much about how far behind you are, rotating in the fights and that kind of stuff. But overall, once you start to get to the point where your acid spray is clearing the wave as Medusa, I believe that's 4 or 5 points into it. Once you're at that stage, you can clear pretty effectively and then look to poke out the opposing Raijin.
It's really unfortunate, though, that we couldn't have the Medusa and the Athena on the same team. That's kind of a throwback to when she first came out. The taunt into the Petrify is just so hard to avoid and so hard to be up against, but gonna have that Susano pull, may be able to help a little bit.
We've seen Bloakley do just fine without any sort of setup for himself, though they did like to run a lot of Erlong jungle. We've seen a lot of Erlong jungle, and then they would taunt them, or no, it was Erlong support. I'm sorry, it would be DineOhSaw on Erlong Shen support, and he would use that ultimate, a very short duration taunt, but a good timing from Bloakley would set it up anyways. So no taunt this time on the side of Cyclone, but they will have some sort of setup for her, I'm sure. And it is going to be Ezzuna moving out of the solo lane into the jungle. We'll have to see how this works, because for me, Ezzuna was the star player of this team whenever he got Sobek. Whenever he didn't get Sobek, we didn't see nearly the same amount of effectiveness, but whenever he was able to get that character that he's very, very comfortable on, he was making a huge impact every single game. So moving him to the jungle with the replacement of Osric, picking up AG Salugi here. He was their sub, I believe, before this. Gonna have to see how this works out on the right side of the map for those 2 characters.
And I feel like Ezzuna, no matter who he was playing, as soon as he started rotating, he became that key player. But speaking of rotations, Retribution gonna rotate over, take the Fire Imps. Mid Harpy's already down, left gonna be taken by Cyclone, but that's gonna leave a little bit for Retribution.
A little bit of stuff for Retribution, and getting those Fire Imps and in the right side Harpy is gonna put Bloakley a little bit behind of Elexum, who got all of that extra farm that he didn't.
Salugi not gonna be able to get out. Mango Man taking the first blood for Retribution.
Not a great start for Salugi in the solo lane. That was
not quite.
You hear a lot from pro players, you really shouldn't get soloed unless you mess up. Salugi messed up.
You done goofed.
Really, really bad. That wasn't even Mango Man. Mango Man just wanted to clear the archers. That was the minions on the side of Mango Man doing all the damage that he needed onto Salugi. So, and now already taking a ton more damage, already half health after using that teleport. We're gonna have to, not a great start for Salugi. He's gotta pick it up if Cyclone want to win this game.
First game right back in with him being solid in this role, however, so understandable to see a little growing pangs, but not a good start coming out from the Sun Wukong. Thankfully, it was on the Sun Wukong and not somebody like Bloakley with the Medusa.
That's true. If you're going to put someone behind in the solo lane, Sun Wukong's not a bad place to start with that, just because you aren't in a whole lot of trouble because you can clear so safely. Here's a dazzling offense from Amaterasu, but just not quite enough damage. Mango Man, maybe, you know, he tasted blood. He's like, oh man, this is free in the solo lane. I just get to solo him whenever. And that time, a little bit early on that ultimate. No mirror there to follow up off that stun.
What's the mentality at that point? He's new to the team. He's been a sub, but he's finally here on a starting roster. How does that affect you mentally?
If I'm on Retribution, I camp him over and over and over again, because if you can get a character like Amaterasu ahead it provides so much to your team. So if you can just spend some time on that right-hand side and making sure he's down even more, that's great. Now it's going to be Bloakley taking the ultimate from Nemesis, the ultimate off the mark from him, but a nice two-man knockup from Susano, going to try and chase him down. There's 4 members here, but Elexum's up into the ultimate.
And Elexum using those taiko drums in those tiny corridors, but not going to be enough. He's going to dish out the damage, but then take it himself. DineOhSaw getting credit for that aggression, and now that leaves the Gold Fury wide open.
And DineOhSaw does have the Wrath, going to transform into the Dragon. They just need to get this to 1200 HP, and there it is. There's the Wrath. Not only do you get the pick, but immediately the Gold Fury. Now Cyclone, despite giving up that first blood on the right-hand side, going to take the lead, but Mango Man doing exactly what he should be doing, taking that lead and running with it, taking away that speed buff. Now it's going to be the blue buff probably, and that's a ton of farm that Mango Man is getting for free on the right-hand side. Look at that. Even with the Gold Fury going the way of Cyclone, Mango Man has a 700 gold lead on Salugi right now.
And, I mean, every little bit counts, but we have the rotation coming in from Ezzuna. Wants to try and interrupt Mango Man. Not going to be enough. Instead, going to pull him back, just stall him out for a little bit of the troubles. Bully him out, especially since he's a little bit angry that that speed buff got stolen.
And it's very difficult to do that, though, up against a solo laner that is this far ahead. He already has the reinforced boots online and took both of your buffs on the right-hand side. Once he picks up his own speed buff, that's going to extend his lead even more. Now Salugi does have the boots available to him, so he can trade a little bit more effectively, but because Amaterasu has that built-in sustain to her kit, where Sun Wukong does not, it should be favoring Mango Man overall.
We have a 2-level difference between these two. Level 8 and level 6. How well does Sun Wukong play this far behind against an Amaterasu?
The poke becomes significantly less relevant. That's the best thing about Sun Wukong in the solo lane, is that he pokes very safely, and so that becomes a lot less relevant whenever you're down this far. So definitely hurts a lot of what he wants to do. There's the great silence, going to stop the Medusa transformations.
Nice.
This is going to be another kill on a Salugi.
The taunt going to come through. Mango Man getting credit for the kill, and now that Ezzuna rotated over, he's going to find himself between the rest of the members, but now the rest of the team is going to come back and help Mango Man. Going to be able to find Ezzuna. Elexum dishing out the damage with the taiko drums, and Mango Man still survives.
Huge play there. Great rotation onto that right-hand side. The ultimate coming down from Athena. Salugi just probably didn't have enough mana to use that somersault cloud to heal himself up. He gets picked off, and then immediately they try and turn it around on a Mango Man, but the ultimate out of Jeron and then the target selection from Elexum, both perfect. This is what we've seen out of Jeron on this Nemesis. The target selection for that ultimate has been on point. It's difficult sometimes to make sure you're ulting the correct target. Yeah, I know, chat, it's an auto-targeter, herder, it's Nemesis. But you, in a competitive setting, it isn't always easy to make sure you're getting the right target at the right time, and it requires a ton of communication in order to do that correctly. And we've seen it time and time again out of Jeron, which is why I'm so surprised that he's given this Nemesis yet again. He's had a ton of success on it.
I mean, it's kind of like, I can add on to that. When you Capri ult the wrong person because they're standing in the wrong spot, same exact thing. It's just the targeter. But looking back, no real damage coming out just yet. CycloneGG forcing to just to go back, hunker down and lick their wounds. 2-man rotation onto the back camps with Medusa and Susano respectively. Jeron coming through trying to take Salugi, but with the slow gonna help out just a little bit, but that's going to be a somersault cloud.
Salugi is now going to die in the next minute, because in the next minute to minute and a half, just because
he has no way to get out.
He's got no ultimate now. Amaterasu is going to be able to use that dazzling offensive basically as soon as she wants to, and is probably going to find another solo kill, and that's exactly what we wanted to see out of Jeron. We wanted to see him on this right-hand side pushing this lead that Mango Man has. Mango Man already level 10, up 1,100 gold onto Salugi, just abusing the new solo laner for CycloneGG.
And we see the 2-level difference. They don't, I mean, Amaterasu, they don't need that Nemesis ult to go ahead and take him out because we've seen it already. Retribution throwing their weight around, trying to take this mana camp out from right under DineOhSaw with a 2-man knockup coming through, forcing out the Fafnir Dragon. CobbY in the background, just trying to do what he can. Just widen the distance. The only one that's in this fight right now is Mango, and he's going to be able to get right back out to the rest of the team. Retribution denied them that fight.
Petrified just completely off the mark there from Bloakley. A little bit too early, missed the target, and yeah, like you mentioned, just Retribution did not want to take that fight any which way. They want to let Mango Man continue to take one-on-ones or two-on-ones and allow him to push this lead. There's no reason at this point to let him go, you know, to try and take this fight multiple people just because it lets you almost have a bad time. Now, no Styley having a bad time on the left-hand side, gonna get caught backing up there, use the purification as well. Still gonna fall here. Jeron gets the last hit, and now Styley 0-1-1 gives the lead over to that Chronos in the duo lane.
I was going to mention with Retribution denying them that fight, backing off, not engaging. Cyclone, like you mentioned, Bloakley missed the ultimate. Ezzuna threw his ultimate as well. Salugi already used his earlier on, so it wasn't available. And DineOhSaw popped the dragon. So they baited out 3 ultimates, and now we talk about Salugi. There he is again, looking very low.
Almost got the solo, did Mango Man, and just before that ultimate came up and there was the minute, you know, timer that he had to get that solo kill onto him. Wasn't able to find it, but did get to force him back. Forces the teleport yet again, so that's 120 seconds that Mango Man will have that teleport advantage.
Elexum forced to use the Thunder Crash to get away. CycloneGG want blood. They want to go ahead and try and minimize this lead that Retribution have little bit by little bit, but Salugi can't pierce the defenses coming out from Mango Man. This Amaterasu is able to get out, but then still dish out the damage, just like the rest of the team.
This is dangerous for Mango Man because he's sticking around with absolutely no mana. He has the blue buff, but luckily for him, CobbY on this right-hand side, just giving him some sort of protection. That would have been a perfect opportunity for Ezzuna to come and get Salugi back into this game. Unfortunately, CobbY sniffed it out and was there to stop it.
I mean, in communication on top of communication. We saw the good communication coming out from Cyclone to try and take advantage of this. We saw the good communication from Retribution and the presence of knowing what was going on to go ahead and deny that. Good taunt coming out, but CobbY not really going to be able to be taken off that easily. 3v3 in the mid lane, but Retribution have no interest in fighting right now. They want to take every little bit off of the board. Gold Fury is also available.
Jeron has the Wrath available, but so does DineOhSaw. They know this is happening. They're not going to give this up for free. DineOhSaw being very patient, waiting. Here comes the taunt from CobbY. It's got to be earlier. They didn't taunt away DineOhSaw. The stun comes out, but that Gold Fury goes the way of Cyclone. Ezuna's going to get low, but not enough damage from Elexum. Welshbeastq with the rewind, but Jeron's just trying to get out.
CobbY trying to get out as well, but trying to make the plays. Bloakley going to be taken out. Mango Man getting credit for the kill. Salugi already forced into somersault once again. Elexum looking very low. Salugi going to be able to take him out, but now he's going to get pinched between 3 members. He already used a cloud, so he has no way to jump out, waiting for those 72 transformations.
The wrong target to taunt there. DineOhSaw also transforming at the wrong time. No mana available to him now. There's a stun coming out of Welshbeastq. Could fall here. Cope looking at, misses the taunt onto him yet again. CobbY just not having the game that you need out of your Athena there. They lose that Gold Fury because he taunts the completely wrong target. You have to taunt the Wrath away from the Gold Fury. He doesn't. That allows DineOhSaw to get in there and steal it away with that relic. I don't know where Jeron's Wrath was. It's still up and available to him right now. But, and then there again, the target to taunt there was DineOhSaw. He was 1 hit from death. Instead, he tries to taunt in Salugi, maybe thinking that his team would have the damage to finish him off, but instead, you get a little bit greedy, and you get no kills for it.
Would you have traded your support for the Gold Fury at that point? Ezzuna going to be able to dash out of the 3, but a nice 2-man taunt coming through, going to pull him right back, and Retribution sitting 4 kills happier.
Without a doubt.
Over Cyclone.
You definitely trade your support for the Gold Fury, even early on at 11 minutes. Your support is going to get the farm eventually. You're not too worried about them getting bullied. The time to bully them has already kind of passed. With these reinforced Greaves, the window you have to kill them is much smaller.
Cobb dashing forward again, gonna find it, and then gonna be able to find Bloakley with the help of Elexum, dish out the damage, and then get the last hit. So that's gonna be a 1-for-0 trade.
So there is the combo that we talked about with this 3v3 core. Taunt into ultimate from Nemesis into ultimate from Raijin, and Bloakley no purification. It's already on cooldown, so we can't use it to get out of there. Just insta-killed from a long distance. Elexum takes some damage in return, but obviously not a huge deal. That's the 3v3 potency that we mentioned immediately as soon as they drafted those 3 gods.
Chronos are going to be dangerous soon. I'm just sitting here watching him. Meanwhile, this fight going on, DineOhSaw going to be just fine. No kill potential on the Fafnir just yet. There's 3 people here. If they invest everything like they did earlier on, they'd be able to find him, but right now, they can't. It's still down.
You're going to need the Nemesis assault in order to kill Fafnir, even
Yes.
at this point in the game. And like I was starting to mention, with these tank boots, it lowers the window that you have to really abuse supports before they get tanky significantly, because they get so tanky so quickly with the cheap boots that you can buy. So not as valid as a strategy as it was in previous weeks, picking on the support. So you see that trading out the support now is even more in your favor, because they don't get abused as easily early. Even if they fall behind, they aren't going to get caught out and kind of punished for being behind, and you would still get the Gold Fury for it. So still a Retribution lead, but it should be higher. It should be higher. A misplay at the Gold Fury really cost him.
Jeron rotating over, trying to find Styley. Instead, going to get a little bit of damage with the slice and dice, and then go ahead and back off. But because we see the immediate response coming out from Cyclone, they had a 3 men over on the left side. They're going to go ahead and disperse now, but the communication was there instantly.
But Mango Man is here, making the rotation from the solo lane, able to give up a couple waves on that right-hand side because of the lead he's gotten. And they're going to try and use that advantage of having Mango Man here to push down this left-hand side. The damage aura just going to allow Retribution to shred this tier 1 tower on the left-hand side.
I don't like using absolutes, but there's nothing Cyclone can do to stop this. There's 5 members of Retribution here. That would have to turn into the biggest 5v4 of Cyclone's life at this point. That may be a little melodramatic.
And you can't fight into it because Mango Man's level 16, and there's no way you want to do that. However, Mango Man has a teleport available and instead decided to farm that wave on the left-hand side instead of going in to defend his tower on the right. He is teleporting in now, but this is right when the red buff is spawning. Salugi doesn't have the teleport available either, so that's not a huge deal. But you lost a wave to that tower and took a ton of tower poke to get a wave by yourself in left when the same wave is waiting for you in right lane. It's just underneath your tower doing damage.
Mango Man wants to go ahead and try and pinch onto the speed camp. The Nemesis ultimate coming through. Ezzuna taking so much damage, and Jeron gonna be able to find it. Elexum following up with the Taiko drum. That's the 4th hit coming through, and now he's getting channeled by the Athena ultimate. Crashing in comes Athena. Bloakley having to use the Petrify and then dash away.
Perfectly timed Defender of Olympus allows Elexum to get out. Now Welshbeastq trying to get in there as much as he can. Mango Man full health, level 16, just standing in front of the entirety of Cyclone. Nothing they can do to him. He's just so big. 4-0-2 already.
That is a very fed Amaterasu.
And those are the worst words you can hear out of the solo lane. It really is. There is no god I would rather have be ahead than Amaterasu if they're on my team. It's the team fight presence that she brings. We can see the win rate in the SPL for Amaterasu is crazy high. I think she's the highest winning solo laner in the SPL right now. And it's all because if you can get her out of that weak early game, she provides more to your team than any other solo laner. She provides the movement speed boost or the damage boost. She can change it. She can heal herself. The cooldown's extremely low. The Dazzling Offensive Ultimate has an extremely low cooldown and does a great job of punishing immobile mages and ADCs.
Cyclone trying to keep themselves in the game, taking the tier 1 tower out of the mid lane, and now aggressing on to the Gold Fury. Gonna get it a little low, but the rest of the team of Retribution is here. Bloakley on the receiving end of the Nemesis ultimate. His health is falling fast, but that was the Sanctuary. Jeron not gonna be able to keep chasing. He can't go between Ezzuna and DineOhSaw.
The Sanctuary definitely saved Bloakley's life there, and he had to use it in it because if they get a 5v4 here, it's going to be bad news bears for CycloneGG. Retribution already up 3,000 gold, and they want to take this Gold Fury. Wrath is available for DineOhSaw. Someone needs to keep him out of the Gold Fury pit. You can't let him get close. That's Mango Man's job right now, doing whatever he can. A nice double taunt from CobbY, but there's going to be no follow-up. Elexum up into the Taiko drums, getting very low as Ezzuna get a fall to Mango Man, and now the Dazzling Offensive, and Salugi up into the cloud.
Up into the cloud, Bloakley coming through with the Petrify into the Supernova. So much damage coming through, but Elexum going to be able to Thunder Crash out of the just complete and total chaos.
Great
and now CobbY trying to taunt them away, and then now trying to get away himself. Elexum trying to set up Raijin with all of the explosive damage. Bloakley's 1 hit away. Welshbeastq going to be able to find the kill.
And now he rewinds into a perfect position to follow up. Elexum also going to find the kill on no Styley. DineOhSaw transforms at the wrong time, feels bad, man, falls there. That's going to be his first death of the game, and this is going to be the first Gold Fury that Retribution is going to be able to secure for themselves. Already 9,000 ahead, in experience, now gonna be up 5,000 gold and 10,000 experience. This game is ugly fast.
And remember what I said. I said Cyclone trying to keep themselves in the game. Cyclone have gotten all of the gold Furies intel now, and Retribution are still keeping the lead. And now it's even furthered because they wiped almost the entire team of Cyclone and then took the gold Fury.
This game has been won. It's not over yet, obviously, so it's not won, but this game has been on the back of MangoMan entirely. He has been the reason the Retribution has this gold lead. I mean, look at the player damage charts. It's Soul and it's Susano at the top. Then it's two members of Cyclone doing their best to do the damage that they need to do, and both of them are sitting at 0-3. I mean, just too much damage and sustain and mobility coming out of his Amaterasu, sitting at level 17 already, over 10,000 gold, up 2,000 gold almost on AG Salugi. And again, we saw, as soon as we saw that solo right away, you can tell it's going to be Retribution abusing this solo side, and they couldn't have picked a better god to do it.
Nice two-man Typhoon, 3 members here, but the rest of the team shows up and takes them by surprise. Salugi just trying to get back to Bloakley. Bloakley having to go back into the tower just to avoid all of the damage. Going to be the jump into the safety with the tower. Going to be able to pop out some shots, but for the most part, they save themselves for now.
This is kind of risky coming in from Cyclone. They've got a huge lead, but pushing out a tier 2 tower at this stage of the game is difficult. MangoMan going in with that dazzling offensive onto Ezzuna, getting him very low, past the teleport in. Elexum tries to get him, going up into the Tycho jumps, running out a ton of damage.
And forcing Bloakley to use that Sanctuary in the backline as well. However, Elexum has to use his Salugi crashing down. The clone just dashing forward, looking for Jeron. Instead, they're gonna keep their hands tied and then go back to this tier 2 tower. Now, the rewind going to be good coming out from Welshbeastq. He's going to be able to do a lot, especially to this tower. He's not necessarily worrying as much about the people. Throwing out his CC and then getting out of dodge.
He just wants to secure that tower, push that lead even farther up for Retribution. Now 7,000 gold, and you can see the risk factor almost made them pay. A couple really close calls. Elexum gets boosted up by that meditation, or he would have been extremely low. Jeron also almost gets killed by the decoy from Salugi. So close call, but they do get the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side. CobbY probably going to be able to walk out of here just fine as well. So no kills on the side of Cyclone, not able to pick up anyone on Retribution despite doing a ton of damage, and they get the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side. Now 7,000 gold. In the lead is Retribution.
He ain't even limping. He was able to walk out, even though 2 members were going completely crazy on him. They can't pierce his defenses. Cobb a little too strong right now, and Cyclone a little too far behind. And even though it was risky, Retribution still doing a fantastic job of keeping themselves in the game and keeping themselves alive. They weren't punished for it.
And when you're making a risky play, there's always a reward. There's always the dangling carrot that makes you want to do that risky play, and the carrot for Retribution there was to push this lead even further. At the 20-minute mark, to be down almost 7,000 gold is almost a death sentence. It's almost there. All you need is one more, tier 2, 1 or 2 more tier 2 towers down, and then another gold fury, and you're sitting at the dreaded 10K mark.
Dangled is a terrible word, but they're looking for the carrot. They're looking for the win anyway. Retribution going to take down yet another tier 2 tower, this time with even more ease than the last one.
And that's a purification on the side of Ezzuna. You also have the purification from Styley as well. So you got 2 purifications there from the members of CycloneGG for 1 taunt and a Nemesis all. Plus, you still got the tower. Has Ezzuna gotten a speed buff since the first one? I think MangoMan's taken every single one from him.
I think he has too, and Ezzuna just trying to... It would be nice if he had a speed buff to try and keep away from Amaterasu, but going to be able to use his anime man powers to get away. The speed and the slipperiness coming out from Susano, really hard for Amaterasu to lock down, and at that point, you don't want to waste everything when Retribution are pushing down the last tier 2.
Now MangoMan just diving in. Here's the taunt from CobbY. Gonna be immune by Bloakley. Nice petrify. Jeron taking a ton of damage from the supernova as well, but Bloakley's falling quickly. Has to use a sanctuary to get out.
And he's gonna have to use a dash too, because there were so many members looking for his head. Tycho drums coming through, lots of damage. MangoMan still in the middle of the fight. Beautiful 3-man knockup coming out from the Susano, and it's not I mean, it saves them. Nobody's fallen yet.
Now it's going to be Welsh on the left side by himself. Sanctuary's out. Jeron's going to fall to no Styley. Retribution still looking at this middle tier 2 tower. Mango Man getting pretty low as well. Welshbeastq taking a very aggressive path in, all by himself. No rewind available, trying to get the kills. Nice 3-man taunt, going to follow up.
Styley gonna be able to follow up, take out the Welshbeastq, but Mango Man, 2 kills on the side of Retribution currently. Mango Man having 1 of them, and now he's gonna have to kind of nurse his wounds, keep a little bit, but a nice 3-man pull coming out. CycloneGG do not want to let them get away. It is time to finally make them bleed.
No way, Mango Man's gonna get out here? He still hasn't died? Unbelievable, he's 1 HP, just gets out by the skin of his teeth. Just crazy. He was so deep with no health, with no mana for so long, and he's able to escape just barely, and now he's just gonna do the speed buff just because he can. He likes taking speed buffs, man.
It's those boots.
It's the boots.
Those boots are keeping everybody in this dang game.
It's the boots, it's the level 20. It's even more than level 20 than the boots overall, and just being so far ahead. He's not super high on the player damage chart. He's 4th in the game right now, but it's all been because of the pressure that he's put on the game, and it's so much more than pressure than damage that Amaterasu brings to your team. Like I mentioned, it's the auras as well.
He's pulling the Ezzuna. He's the Ezzuna this game. Ezzuna currently, currently Susano being the jungler, but he's the Ezzuna of Retribution. He's doing a fantastic job as soon as he started, even in the beginning of the game, and even more when he started rotating.
And that's what you want. Again, you could not have picked, if you could give me one character to say, hey, I'm going to be a solo laner that's super far ahead and can basically just control the entire right side, who would you like me to pick? I'm going to pick Amaterasu, because once she does start to rotate, like you mentioned, it's just going to bring so much more to your team than any other character. And overall, just the damage from Cyclone, really, really great on no Styley and on Ezzuna. But Bloakley, we talked about it coming into the game, has looked very, very comfortable on Medusa previously. This game, not so much. Sitting at the bottom of his team in damage, not even 7,000 at the 24-minute mark.
Bottom of the team in damage, bottom of the team in gold, just sitting bottom all together. Mango Man gonna get pulled back.
Hey,
Ezzuna gonna pull him through, and yep, got the speed. He finally got his own speed buff, but now he's probably gonna die. Nice Typhoon just to keep himself alive for a little bit longer, but here comes a dazzling offensive. 1 more hit, Ezzuna is gone.
Mango Man gonna be able to finish him off. That was Mango Man's speed, man. You can't take that. Now Elexum gonna dive in aggressively, doing a ton of damage to Bloakley, forcing him out of this fight, and it's gonna be Retribution backing up with about half health on most of their characters. Most importantly for them though, Welshbeastq, very, very healthy. No meditation for Mango Man, but he's gonna be able to heal up using that stance switch without too much worry.
Look at this Fire Giant. CycloneGG starting to group up. They know what's happening. Fire Giant already down to about half. And now DineOhSaw, do not let him get anywhere near. He's got the Wrath.
He does have the Wrath, and so does Jeron. Jeron coming back from base right now. Mango Man going really deep, just going in against 4 people, and look at how little damage he's taking. He's taking absolutely nothing. Now Welshbeastq trying to follow up. CobbY gonna take a lot of damage, but here come the Tycho jumps raining through this jungle.
And the small corridor definitely helps. Bloakley does not have his Sanctuary because he just used it. Jeron gonna be able to find that last hit, and then use the ultimate onto DineOhSaw. He definitely wants to get away. He needs 1 more hit, and he's gonna be able to find it. It's gonna be a double for the Nemesis, and that's the Wrath down. They're still chasing down Styley, though. Welshbeastq gonna be able to find it, and this could still be a clean sweep.
And here comes Mango Man trying to find Ezzuna on the back end. Ezzuna using that jet stream to get out of danger, but now it's Salugi and the middle Phoenix for CycloneGG that's in the danger. Welshbeastq gonna be able to shred this fairly well on that Chronos. They're gonna have enough damage here in just a moment. Any second now, there it goes. Middle Phoenix down, 3 members of Cyclone also respawning. That's 14,000 gold, or 1,400 gold. Oh man, can you imagine it was 14,000? It feels like a 14,000 gold lead right now for Retribution. I mean, Elexum's probably gonna get picked off on the backhand here due to a lazy back, but oh no, good taunt. Beads coming out from Ezzuna. He still wants to find him, he does, but overall, at least you get the purification, right?
Exactly, and it's
At least.
I mean, it's a good thing it's not 14,000 now, it's 12,000 in favor of Retribution, but still, I mean, it's a band-aid over a bullet wound. They got a couple of kills onto Elexum, but for the most part, Retribution are still very nice and happy. 18 kills to CycloneGG's 5. We're only 26 minutes into the game. We might have saw a Fire Giant, but then as soon as CycloneGG overstepped their boundaries and tried to stop them, Retribution almost decided him for it.
And that's what you just do whenever you're ahead this much gold. You just bait them in, do whatever you want, and then take the fights on your own terms. Mangoman gonna try and get in here and help his support. They did win the ward battle though, did Retribution. Having that ward, or no, that actually is a CycloneGG ward. So gonna have to sentry that if they want to look for the Fire Giant. And look, 5 members all swinging at Mangoman, and he took no damage at all. Not even worried about it.
It took you talking for me to see the damage coming through. Nemesis ultimate onto Bloakley, looking to try and use that ultimate. Instead, Dazzle and Offensive going to be able to change out Bloakley. You're only going to be stunned for a second, and then you're going to be coming right back into the game. Welshbeastq now just trying to clean up shop from the back of the pack. He's dishing out so much. Nice 2-man taunt. Salugi in a very bad spot. Chronos going to be able to find the kill. And now Ezzuna forced to use the Sanctuary while the chase is still on both right and the jungle.
Now Welshbeastq just trying to pick up no Styley, and they're going to meet up with MangoMan who's chasing down Ezzuna. Ezzuna's going to fall here before the Typhoon can go off. It is going to go off and knock up all 5 members, but it isn't enough to save no Styley. That's 4 down, and DineOhSaw is next on the list.
They have his number. They're looking for a nice hammer stun coming through. They're going to go ahead and let him go. Don't invest everything. Instead, don't get greedy. Take the Phoenix.
And it looks like they should be able to end the game here. No, they're going to back up. Very surprised to see them do that. Yes, Bloakley had just respawned, but you had a dozen seconds before the next member, and you had a Fire Wave on the Titan. Fire Giant's sure, nice and safe. But overall, I mean, you're still up 15,000 gold. You don't have to worry that much. You probably could have gone for the Titan there, but instead Retribution gonna look at this. Is DineOhSaw gonna steal this?
DineOhSaw wants to steal it, but he's gonna get just melted. Jeron gonna get credit for the kill, and now they have their safe, secure Fire Giant. But he got a little too close for comfort for me.
Yeah, you got pretty close, but a good job of stopping DPS and all turning attention to him. And then Mangoman, again, that's his speed buff, not Ezzuna's anymore. This has been Mangoman's speed buff every single time except twice all game. No one else gets this.
Look at him. He's the captain now.
He is the captain now.
He's the captain of this jungle now. Mangoman stealing everything that he can out of here. I mean, the speed buff, the mana camp, the experience camps. We've seen everybody stop as soon as they, just like a fine-tooth comb through the entire jungle. And now on the left side, able to group up, wanted to go for Gold Fury, but found Ezzuna in the process. Maybe able to even find a kill. Typhoon being charged up. Welshbeastq gonna be able to take him out. Jeron helping, getting credit, or not getting credit, but definitely helping out with the ult.
No response for the damage coming out of Welshbeastq right now, sitting on top of the damage charts for Retribution, being that late game Chronos that you want him to be. CobbY was lagging there clearly and missed that taunt, but it's going to be the left-hand Phoenix. Mangoman is diving so deep, just doing nothing but trying to kill Bloakley. And
Bloakley, I mean, we're gonna, no, that's not going to fall. That's going to be the Sanctuary. Going to be able to get away just fine, but nobody stopped Welsh, and nobody is still stopping Welsh until now. DineOhSaw trying to curb the damage. Going to be able to help out, taking out Styley, come around, and then finish off the Phoenix. And now Bloakley in a very bad spot. Once again, going to have to be forced out. Elexum going to be able to take him out before he can pop anything and rush to the fountain.
And Jeron's still alive? How did he live from that? He was as good as dead. Now it's going to be Elexum up into the Taiko drums, finishing off Salugi, and this is going to be the Titan. 30 very convincing minutes out of Retribution there. Only 5 kills on the side of Cyclone.
They almost had a kill a minute. They had 27 kills. That was a 30-minute game.
Again, you let Amaterasu get ahead, and it's really, really tough to get back from it, and we saw just how tough it was. Cyclone, even despite no Styley doing great damage on that soul, despite Ezzuna doing good damage on the Susano, just no answer. And then Amaterasu just carries the game until Welshbeastq has his late game, and all of a sudden, he's Chronos doing tons of damage and two-shotting you.
So, Amaterasu went absolutely ham that last game. How much of that can they learn from and try to push onto Salugi to kind of help him get a little bit more comfortable in the solo lane?
Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. There isn't a whole lot that you can learn, you know, except for he shouldn't have hit Amaterasu. He hit Amaterasu with an ability which aggroed all of the minions to hit him. But, you know, just don't do whatever you did again. Don't do that.
No
whatever
repeats.
you did to get soloed,
Please
don't
no.
hit it again, because it clearly just snowballed out of control very quickly for Retribution.
Well, thankfully.